you? It's me, She. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you are staying comfortable out of the way of the chaos that is ensuing around us. And when I say chaos, I mean within ourselves, within our own spirit, because of these energies that are in our space here at this time. So today's the sixth day. Sixes is perseverance, six is passion, six is balance. So we're going to see if we can take these loving energies and balance them. Actually try to bring some calm in these energies. And I got to tell you, you have to be prepared for this transition. We have a transition coming with the zodiac of Gemini. We're leaving Gemini on the 20th and arriving in Cancer on the 21st. So the 20th and the 21st is what we call a cusp. So if you're born on those 2 days and you're sitting right between those 2 signs along with Aries, being in our energies right now. Remember, I told you we're in this energy of Mars, and Mars is here for the next 6 months. So Mars is the planet of war, sitting in the sign of Aries, meaning battle, anger, is at its height. So especially with Cancer coming in, and those twins, that Gemini energy, meaning fickle, meaning, one side or the other side, there's no middle. And along with Cancer, being emotional, all feely. So be careful. So we're going to get these energies for you, see where we are, try to help you navigate your own emotions and how you're dealing with your life, the people around you, whether it's for business, pleasure, family. We want to make sure we're checking ourselves so we can survive as much as possible intact and in a loving manner. So we're going to go right ahead and start with our breathing, and so we can get centered and get into these cards. So let's start our breathing. Breathe in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Out through the mouth. All the way, out, out. Let's do it again. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Out through the mouth. Breathe it all the way out. We're taking it into that heart chakra that sits right in the middle of our chest, and we're going to do it one more time. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And our heart chakra today is our tone that we are Okay, guys, let's do our drum now. I have, this is my drum, my chakra drum, and we've been doing it now. We started at the root, we went up through and past the navel into the heart chakra today. So here's that tone to get that chakra moving and clearing out. So we're going to start right now with the sounds. I'm going to do it 3 times, and you can just relax. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side, and we're going to begin our reading. So when I do that, I hope you're feeling these vibrations So for the last year now, it's been a year and 2 months, I began this channel with telling you about the chakras. We picked colors so you could understand the colors. I suggested at that time you wear the color for that week or for that period if that could remind you to focus on that energy, and I explained what those energies were. So if you don't remember or if you're just joining us, please go back to the videos I made starting April, May of 2019, and it goes a little bit more in depth, and kind of watch those videos and catch up with us, because as we move through 2020, it's going to be very vital that you are either with us in this space of healing, or if you've been doing your own energy work and you're just joining us and finding us to be where you are, understanding what we're doing, then you don't necessarily need to have to go back to catch up because you're there already. I've also did that devil. I did that devil video, guys, the other day on Tuesday. I dropped it, and it was the first video that I put out there that in a short period of time kind of went up and watching, and unique visitors coming into joining us in these energies. So I'm excited about that. I want to take a few moments and thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. And I truly, truly do appreciate it as we continue on our path. And actually, the more people who come into this energy with us, especially those that are around us in our lives, you could start to see the magic. You can see it together. So let's get started with our cards. So I had the Reiki stone of rebirth. Actually, and it's also my little Prince. Remember Prince, Purple Rain Prince? Charging up our chakra for our healing for the energies of this week, so it could also assist with that rebirth. Remember, we're in a rebirthing phase. Rebirth means from now until the end of this year, we're peeling away, we're pillaging ourselves, we're purging ourselves, we're cleaning, we are resetting. The earth is resetting, so we don't have a choice whether we want to or not. So the intent is set to help us continue to navigate these powerful energies that are around and around us. Our cards are mystical shaman cards. I am really getting excited, guys, about those cards that I've been doing, because they actually, those little mini videos that are under a minute, or just at a minute, maybe some of them are a little bit further along than a minute, because I noticed some of them, based on the number, the cards have a number. And it's just working out again. It's that magic. It's that synchronicity, that the time that the video ends, especially that number 11 card I did, and it ended up being the time of the video ending was exactly 111. So I also have a video that talks about those powerful numbers, those angel numbers, and in terms of numerology, what they mean. So that is our last card. We got quite a few cards here, so I've been trying not to make these videos an hour, because when they go long like that, they take longer to upload. Wow. This is going to be a reading that I'm going to have to start from the other side, because they kind of fall out in stacks. Wow, I'm feeling the energy of this, and guys, it's not good, but we're going to see. We're going to see where we are. Okay, our first card is the aisle. So the aisle is a number 12 card. And so we bring it down to that number 3. And threes are creativity. And this owl, in this spirit of this time and this moment, this little owl, guys, remember, the owl of Athena is wisdom. And I have my little owl, right in front of us, as you can see, because I'm channeling the birds, not just the owl, but all birds. And birds kind of fly high and above us. Oh, that drum is, I can hear it. Can you hear it? It's kind of vibrating my voice, so I had to move it off the desk. But the aisle in these energies where we are now. So in mythology is vital and important to our history. You can say it happened, or it did happen, or it didn't happen, or did it happen? But mythology helps us understand the ancient times, which our history is very important to us. And I mean way beyond the history of any of us who are living today. So those stories start to become myth the further they get, or like we have today we have urban legend. So people say, did it really happen? Is it fake? Is it real? Or was it made up? Well, in the Greek time, the owl actually belonged to Athena, who again was the goddess of war. Aries, remember, we're in Mars' atmosphere, or Mars is in our atmosphere of the earth, so it's ruling us whether you like it or not, or feel it or not. You feel it through your emotions or your actions, and we can see it even if it's not us in that warrior spirit. And a warrior spirit isn't always negative. So for example, in mythology, Athena used this owl to go out and bring information. Her owl would go out, see what was going on. It was like, let's say that was social media of the day. This owl was the news, or maybe we can't even say it was fake news, because birds don't lie. If they're going to not tell you, they're not going to come back. So she sent the owl out, or you know how they say you send the bird out. Even in Snow White, she had the little bluebird. And the bluebird would go tell her what the wicked queen was up to and come back and give her the information. So right now, we are seeing the information from a bird's eye view. From watching the protests around the world to watching the protests in different cities and states here in the United States. We're having a bird's eye view to what is happening, as well as we have 2 men on the moon right now. Those 2 men, who just took off and went up in space, which I watched it like a little girl who had never seen anything like that before. I was just from the moment of conversation, I followed SpaceX and the whole Dragon journey, and I can't wait to when it starts to come back to Earth. So that's where we are. We're at an owl's view. And remember, owls can see 360. They can spin their heads around. They can see. Their eyes are sharp. They can fly in the dark and catch their prey. That's where we are. That's where our creativity is, on that level of a bird's view. So remember that when you are watching things, you have to watch them with clarity, without judgment, and allow the owl or the bird, or you may have your own bird that comes into your life. You know, you may be outside taking a walk, all of a sudden this little bird appears, or it appears on your ledge, or you know, you're looking out the window and you see this little bird sitting there looking at you. That is a bird that's coming to share information. And so when you see this bird, and if you're fortunate to catch a, or you know, in wonderment, or live in an area where you can see eagles, falcons, or the owl itself, I mean, take a picture of it if you can. Get still, be quiet. Ask the bird, what is it that you want me to know? Can you tell me or share with me something of creativity which will help me to grow? The owl. Our next card, oh wow, is the Sweat Lodge. And we've had the Sweat Lodge before. And in the past energies of the Sweat Lodge, I've talked about different things. This card is a number 9, and it is attainment. But when we're talking about Mars, Cancer, and Gemini, these are the energies that we are, our emotions and our passions. It's like fire and water. It's blending those two earth elements into a boil. So in these energies, this Sweat Lodge is like when you go into a cave and you are sweating out, you're purging out. So again, we talk about mythology or urban legend. Today we have sweat lodges. Mostly the legitimate ones are done by orthodox shamans. And what they do is they take a group, they build a cave-like environment. It could be a tent, but it has to be something where it can breathe, where smoke can breathe, because they're going to be using tools that are around fire and water. And so they take the oscawaya, they make a brew, and you drink this brew. And then you go into a psychedelic or, you know, a very spiritual realm. And if you're not careful, if you don't have someone helping guide you through that journey, through that sweat, through that pouring out. So let's say you don't have access to a shaman, or, you know, a sage, or a medicine man. And let's say that you decide to do your own little sweat lodge. And so you go into your bathroom, you get the bathroom all steamed up, and you start to sweat. And as you start to sweat, your body is going through a temperature change. And that would be just an example, a small example of what the physical... I'm sorry, guys, I don't know, the computer just shut down. But if you were in a sweat lodge and you started to sweat, or it's the same as if you are sick, when you like have the flu, the cold, the coronavirus, and you put some type of lanolin or Vicks on your body, and then you get all snuggled and tightly covered under the blankets, and then you start to sweat it out. You start to sweat out your pores, whatever toxins that have invaded your body. So that is the symbolism of a sweat lodge. And right now we're actually living in a sweat lodge, meaning the elements of water is everywhere. Emotions are pouring. And as we move into June, into the end part of June, moving into July, into the Cancerian spirit, more emotions will be flared. And so you can see it from the bird's eye view when you're watching social media, you're watching the news, you're seeing protests or occupations, you see the activities that people are engaging themselves. They're actually putting themselves in tension, in passion and heat. Water and fire boils and creates a sweat lodge. That is what we're living in. And so as the summer comes in and the temperatures start to rise, it's going to get hotter and we're going to have storms. Remember, I told you about the storms, the water, because the water is also helping to purify a lot of this purging that has to happen. And on top of that, with the fire burning, so it's like a burning and a washing away of that burning. And as we continue to burn and flow and water and cleanse, it's peeling away the layers of emotions that we have been now leading up to in this space here on earth for over 400 years, for thousands of years, as the evolution of the human species of man has joined earth, or joined our friendly other species here on earth. We have brought a different kind of energy and a layer to our earth, into our presence, that has started off slow, and it has built and built and built and built and built and built, and now we're at a space in time we're about to explode. The Time Master. And so wow, the Time Master. So with this Time Master, again, we're talking about a creative energy. We're talking about these threes, or stability. So creativity and stability. So this card breaks down to a 4. And with that creativity and that stability, time really has no space. So when you look at this card, this is like the Time Master, the creator of time. And so the symbols, if you look at this card, I try to put a light so you can really see these cards. It's like a Time Master is like in Alice in Wonderland. She goes to the timekeeper. Who's keeping time? Or in The Wizard of Oz, you go to the big Oz guy. He's the keeper of time. So the Time Master is, and if you look in his cloak, it's showing infinity. Time is infinity. We're not talking about the time of the Western clock, the time that we all knows that go, clockwise or counterclock. Then here in the United States, we go through the different time zones, as well as time zones we have here. We also contend with, daylight savings time, which makes it even more confusing. But we all have a biological time of the earth that sits in our own body, in our own vibration. And so as time is happening, as time is progressing, and as we go from one decade to the other, as we go through people. So when we go back to mythology, when you go back to the mythology of time, and you think about those time and the times that those people lived in, or even, let's say, the thought or the urban legend of Atlantis, the time of Atlantis, when they said everything was amazing, everything was almost as living in perfection, the way the people lived together, the way they thrived together, and the way it was at a time before they disappeared. So we are at that time where our time master is starting to show us through the evolution of time, meaning that we came in to 2019 with some things happening. There was a lot of floods last year, a lot of fires. And then as we move towards the end of 2019, that's when this virus, the time for that virus really gauged up. And they were talking last year, the early flu season in 2019, that was going to be a bad flu. And then came 2020, bam! 2020 came in and hit us so hard that we knew that this was going to be something to see. So 2020 vision, we were going to be able to see. We are waking up. We are changing quickly, fast. It was like overnight. The coronavirus came in, bam. People were dying. People were hospitalizing. Our leaders was confused. They were all over the place with what we should do, wear a mask, not wear a mask. And then bam, the next thing we know, a tragedy happened. A man is killed. We all see it. 2020 vision. We can see. We're seeing. And the whole world is lit. Passions are blazing. And I say brazen, I mean in your face. The passion of, it's, I'm not even going to say it's a generation, because when if you really look and see what's happening, it is all of us from every generation that is being affected in this time, in this space of these energies. And again, from this month till the end of the year, we are in Mars. Mars is the God warrior, the warrior of time. And so we have to be timekeepers of ourselves, because this definitely is going to be a year for the history books. The Time Master. Wow, that Time Master, I wish he would go away. Okay, Wild Woman. I think I've talked her up, because I think last week we had the Rainmaker, and because of the stance, I kept calling her between Rainmaker and Wild Woman, because to me, the Rainmaker and the Wild Woman are really the same. They're both on a mission for harvest, to bring something out. So this card is an 8. So it means that we are moving forward. We are pushing through. We are advancing. And so again, if you look at the sky, and in the sky you see those birds, they're like, flying around as if they're like dancing with her. And she has the branches and the fruits of the earth all surrounding her crown. And so in the middle of her body is her energy. And remember, we talk about these energies. And energies has nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with spirit. And the energy of our earth, the energy of the universe, means that when we dance, when we groove, I share with you guys, and I did my dance trance this morning, and you're just, once you're in that vibe, you're in that groove, it's like dancing naked as if no one's watching. And when you're dancing naked, it means to get rid of all your inhibitions, to release yourself to the spirit that is moving through your body, through your energy body. And she is filled with colors, the colors of blue and orange and yellow, and they're surrounding her energy body, that they're like a shock to her system has hit her, and she is just grooving as if she's wild. And the wilder you dance, the more you move that energy, the more you actually feel better. So when they say, rest your body, yes, you must rest your body, especially after injury. If you rest your body too much, if you sit still too much, your body fluids and your energy starts to tighten up. There's no flow. The blood isn't really flowing. So when you are able to dance, not just do your normal day's work or exercise, some people lift weights, some people run. Yes, they're putting their level of blood is pumping through those activities. But when you do a dance as if you're naked and no one's watching, when you let go and just flow with the rhythm of your own beat, you will reach a nirvana, a bliss, a calmness, like a warm bath, a warm rain washing over you in the power of the heat of the blood and the sweat and the movement, that you just kind of release and drop into your heart and just dance like a wild woman. Okay, guys, I hope you understand that. It is just that because for me right now, I've been doing this trance dance meditation. It's harder to explain because you got to get into your own movement, your own flow, and dance to your own beat. And that means you're actually living or learning to live and to open up to live your authentic self. And that is what 2020 is all about. It's either die or live. And that is why I think that death card last week was so powerful and so opening to people, that you would think death would make you run, but you can't live until something dies. And so death isn't final. It's never final. And when you understand that your spirit goes on forever, and when you can learn to live with your spirit here and now, then you understand that physically your flesh is here temporarily, but your spirit, your energy lives on. Okay, it happened again. I guess it's going to be happening every time I switch a card. It seems that the card shuts off. We left the wild woman and now we're in our soul retrieval. And the soul retrieval, I was saying, is also that spirit of creativity. And that's what I was saying with Mars and Aries. Aries is the first zodiac. So when we think about astrology, and astrology includes our planets, astrology includes our the moon, the sun, and everything that's living out and beyond in the universe that, science has been studying for hundreds of years, or how our ancestors, we were going back in time to those of the past, how they were able to grow corn, how they was able to plant, how they was able to water, because they understood the universe beyond Earth's atmosphere. And they had tools back then. We're discovering, as time goes on, we're finding out we're really not that smart, and that a lot of the myth of days past, that way before we can even think of existence, there were civilizations that survived here on this planet, and they were able to do some fascinating things, and they didn't have the technology that we think we have today that is so incredible. So as we do a soul retrieval, oh, excuse me, guys. As we do a soul retrieval, so a soul retrieval again is, you have to have an orthodox sage, shaman, or a medicine man, or some religious leader who knows how to actually show you how, again, through meditation, or through the sweat lodge, or Oskawaya, or how you learn to actually, in meditation, and you can do that with a candle. Like I said, you can go in your bathroom, steam it up, light a candle, and play some music that put you in a trance. Or you can also have soul retrieval through a wild dance. Because once you go into this trance, visions can appear to you, either doing the dance or after the dance, once you come into silence or into quietness. Sometimes when I'm doing a Reiki healing, I have been told that the experience for some is they start to have these visions. They see bright lights. They see themselves. It's like a dream. They go into a state of dreaming, or an outer body experience. Or sometimes I see souls or spirits come and whisper to me information about the participant or the client. And doing that soul retrieval, what you're doing is you're going down deep, or you can also do what we call a dark night of the soul. You can go into a dream state, and you go into a soul retrieval, and you're actually pulling out pain. You're pulling out, sometimes, people go through traumatic experiences, and in those traumatic experiences, they say that they had, or they took medicine, or they had surgery and they were put under, and they had this experience, this mystical, unexplainable journey that either took them to a place where they saw things, or they temporarily died and they said they saw relatives, or a grandparent, or a deceased parent, or a deceased child in this experience. And what you get from a soul retrieval is you get so much depth of who you are, what is my purpose? What is my destiny? Why am I here? What is my experience to be had here on this earth? A soul retrieval is very life altering and a life changing experience. If you ever have a chance to go and experience a soul retrieval, that is the only way you would understand what I'm saying when I say soul retrieval. Unless you've experienced it for yourself, you cannot understand what a soul, or how powerful a soul retrieval can be in your life. And we're up to 11, which is thunder. Boom, boom, bam. Because it's 11, it's a sacred number. We're not going to make it a 2, because 2s are choices. And thunder is just what it is. It is a sound, it is a time, it is a space when change is happening. And if you miss it because you did not pay attention to that rattle, that boom, that bam, that crack in the sky, that thunder, you missed, and wait for the next time the thunder comes around. So hopefully you'll hear it. And we had this card, guys, last month. And so I'm not going to go in depth because it's the same energy. We're in the same energies. We're in the same space. So if you remember what we talked about, or maybe go back and check out Thunder, the Holy Mountain. Wow, what a beautiful card. The Holy Mountain. So the Holy Mountain, there's a story in the Bible where Jesus went over to the mountain to give his ceremony. And many, many came to see his speech. In the Hindu stories, there is a mountain called Kailash that's today where people go on a pilgrimage to climb up to ridiculous heights. And last year, 2019, so many people tried to go to this holy mountain, just like when they go to Jerusalem, to go to the mountain where Jesus spoke. Today you have people going to holy mountains all over the world. Even in Yellowstone, if here in the United States, you go and you climb these mountains. Again, it's like having a soul retrieval or a sweat lodge, because you are challenging yourself, you're elevating your human existence. And people die, guys, trying to do these quests, trying to reach this nirvana, this exhilaration. And you don't have to do that. You can just go into meditation and you can visualize. And the longer you quiet your mind, you can go anywhere in this beautiful world, earth, that you like through meditation. And so that's why I'm constantly sharing with you the importance and teaching you the breathing and helping you to feel the vibration, because you don't have to do that. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars in equipment, thousands of dollars in airplane tickets and clothing, and paying someone to help you get to the top of a mountain so you can have that experience, to know what that real true experience is, called life, love, bliss, a journey to the holy mountain that's right inside your temple and lies right between the middle part of your forehead, where you can have that communion with spirit and love. The next card is the serpent. Wow, we got a lot of interesting cards here. And the serpent is the number 1. And the serpent, remember we talked about last week the Ouroboros, which is the serpent eating his tongue. The serpent also lives within our caduce, which is the medical, like on the side of the ambulances or the hospitals. It has the caduce of the serpent, two-headed serpent with wings, meaning It is medicine, it is health, it is life. It is how we live or die. That is the serpent. And you hear about the serpent or the dragon in many, many mythological stories. And the serpent is the one who tricked Adam and Eve. Let's say that in order for us to get back to the Garden of Eden, we have to encounter the serpent. And what if that serpent is already inside of us? And we just need to raise that serpent from the ground up to the top of our head and release it so that we can be again on holy ground. You ponder that, you think about that, because the serpent is a new beginning. I was walking through the park in Great Falls about 4 or 5 months ago. I guess, it was like in 2019 when the leaves were falling and the weather was changing. And I saw these two snakes mating. I thought I would die on the spot. I thought I would have a complete fallout. It scared the jeezies out of me. It was so close to me. My walk was over. I got the hell out of there. Excuse me. Oh, my language, but that's how much it feared me. But at the same time, I tried to take a picture of it. But the serpent, the wind. Our next card is the wind. Wow. And we're back at a number 9. We're back at attaining. We're back at completion or receiving or grabbing or grasping or having or getting to the mountaintop, going on that pilgrimage and crawling, walking, sweating, crying. We're at the mountaintop. And when you're at the mountaintop, they say the air changes. And so remember, we have the 4 elements. So we have air, which is wind. We have earth, we have fire, and we have water. And so wind is here, and thunder with rain comes, or fire comes air. Air oxygizes and keeps the fire going. Water, the wind is what helps pushes that water up on shore and then allows it to go back out. It's like a breeze or tornado. When you hear about the tornado, it's like a huge wind spinning. Or you have the hurricane. We're having all of these elements at one time. Air, water, fire, all here on earth, and how they interact. Air is up above. Air is like, so if you look at her again, she has the leaves falling from the branches that are like resting on her crown. You have the bird, I don't even know what kind of bird that is, but you have a bird in his feather caught up in her wind. And so you see how the leaves are whirling around. Or we go to Oz, when Dorothy was taken to Oz in The Wizard of Oz. She was lost because of the wind. The tornado came, and she was, her and Toto ran in the shed, and then next thing you know, the house landed in this strange land. And that's what the wind has done to us now. We're here in this time right now in a strange land, in a strange place, but it's one we know, but we don't know because we have not been here before. Wow, we have 12 cards. The staff. And again, it is a 6. Today's a 6th day. So passion, perseverance, we want to persevere and balance out these energies, because these energies should be compassion and loving. It should not be where we are fighting, but we are, where we are disagreeing, but we are, where we are divided, but we are. So we do not have harmony. So in the Bible, the story of Moses is given a staff, and this staff it's like a walking stick, and it's the symbol. If you look at all of in the picture, if you look at the symbols, the leaf, there's feathers, and it appears to be at the top some type of animal with horns of a bull and a reindeer. And in the center of his head is a jewel. And his eyes here, where he can see, this staff is representing that it is the staff of everything. It is the staff that can see all things. So in the Bible, Moses' staff turns into a snake. Moses' staff helped part the sea. Moses' staff was also helped him walk on that long journey into trying to get to what he was told was called the promised land. This staff he raised and created thunder. This staff he raised and created locusts and fire and pestilence. All the things that we are seeing happen around us is being exposed or happening because the timing is like boom, bam, it's here. I heard there was locusts over in Africa, in India, in Dubai. So it's like, how are these things happening? How are they coming? They're happening and coming. Or the coronavirus, or SARS, or whatever, the floods, the fires, whatever is happening, it's actually happening as if it's being done with the staff. And so I'm going to say that because 6 is perseverance, that during this time, we really need to hold on. We need to hold on to something. And so it's like holding on to a staff where you have your journey that you are walking, that you have help, that we all have help on this journey. The staff. Whew, 2 more cards. And I said I was hoping this. Oh no! Oh no! The curse. Oh, changes. Oh wow. Look at this card. This card is a number 5. Changes, the curse. So in order for this curse that we find ourselves in, and this staff that came before this curse card, to me it's saying that we have been cursed by spirit from the mouth, from the words. The mouth is covered in this card. And curse doesn't necessarily say doomsday or horror or bad luck, but curse says that when you speak, you can either speak something into existence that is not good, or speak, or we can change the curse. I'm sorry, I'm knocking the computer all around. Um, the curse means that we have created, and what has happened to us right now, whether it's the coronavirus or it's all the deaths that are around us, it has been spoken. It has been written. And that when you understand that something has to take place, that something has to happen, it will happen. And how you get through the curse is what we're doing now. We are praying. We are in meditation. We are balancing ourselves. We are DIYing ourselves. We are staying positive. We are gifting and giving away our talents. We are sharing our talents. We're sharing our love. We're doing the purge. We're cleaning our house. We are getting rid of what is no longer needed in our lives, or what no longer serves us in our lives. Until the end of this year, this curse, so to say, this purge, this coronavirus is here. And so I'm really, really stressing, guys, that you make sure you are in tune with knowing who you are, believing in who you are, and following a path that is not of this world, that is not a part of this curse. Meaning that no matter how many are hurting others, you are not participating. You are using this time to grow. You're using this time to stay grounded. You're using this time to balance, and that is what we're doing. That is what we have been participating in on this journey for the last year or more, is to be in preparation for what is happening in this year of 2020, because we can see, and part of the curse is to be able to see. Some people tell me, I don't want to see. I don't want to know. I don't want to see what's happening. I'd rather be in bliss of ignorance. One of the videos I did showed the hangman. It's about the movie The Matrix. So, do you take the blue pill or the red pill? If you take the blue pill, you stay in the curse. If you take the red pill, that means you wake up to see, so that you can start living, so that you can start balancing, so that you can start moving into your space or your destiny, and how your energy and your love creates a common good for us all. And so that you can love, to learn to love unconditionally. And so that you can learn to let go when you should let go. So you should learn to hold on and grab when it's time to grab. It's like having the keys, the key to life, being able to open the 4 doors and have those 4 doors work in unison. And when I say work in unison, we have completion again this week. Do you see those arrows in all different directions? We don't even have to add this card. It's a major card. It's a number 9. It's a part of the task to completion, to having and gaining and receiving everything you've dreamed, everything you've wished, everything you've desired, because this orbis, and I told you the story last week about how the orbis came into my life, is those colors of the rainbow. Those colors of our chakras, our energy body. And that's what we've been doing with the tones. And that's why I've been trying to make sure I do one of these videos once a week. And we're already at the heart chakra. Today was the heart chakra. Heart chakra is green. The heart chakra sits right above in the middle of the chest, right above the heart, between the breasts, in the chest, and deep back to our spine is that energy of our heart chakra. So Valentine's Day, we use the heart as red. In our energy body, our heart is felt from the greenness of this earth. Everything that is life and lush around us is in the color of green. And so when you're living from the earth, when you're living from Mother herself, and you understand what it means to take care of her, you understand what it means to be in the world and not of the world. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. I've been trying not to have these videos so long, but they are what they are, and we are where we are. Again, I'm here for you. I love you. My heart bursts for you. I pray for your goodness, your health, your wealth, your creativity, your co-creator to create with you. Until next week, have a wonderful, wonderful, safe week. Namaste.